Hello, welcome to another episode of Two Labs Garage. It's kind of a big day for Two Labs Garage. Got the 1979 Granada out, but it's a little bittersweet because it's actually out to go to storage, and I'm going to be bringing another vehicle back from storage. Hey y'all, my name's Aaron, and I'm a car addict. And these are my assistants, Caroline and Nellie. Together, we are Two Labs Garage. We're a car YouTube channel. We love old cars. We love old trucks. We go to events, shows, drives. We do repairs, maintenance, budget bills. Let you in on some of my tips and tricks I've learned over the years. And when we get the chance, we revive them. So come join us here at Two Labs Garage, where we're going to have fun putting old relics like this back on the road on a budget, and most importantly all, we're just going to have fun with old cars. Alright, so future me chiming in, my own personal peanut gallery. Now perhaps I was a little vague in the intro. I said we were going to be swapping out. We're going to be swapping out for my 1980 F100. And this is the vehicle I plan to take on Hot Rod Power Tour this year. This is the vehicle I signed up. And once we get it back, we're going to just kind of go through some of the stuff that I'm going to need to do to get it ready for Power Tour. Like I said, this is pretty bittersweet. And I kind of hate it that this car has never made it on the channel any more than it has. I'll show y'all around it a little bit. Drink it up. This, like I said, 79 Granada. It was originally my grandmother's car, actually. And, well, when I first wanted to get into the old car hobby, this is all I could afford. So this is my first classic, even though some people say Granada's not a classic. And it's a four-door, whatever. I respect your opinion, but I like the car. And I'd say over the last 10 years, it's really gotten some positive feedback. So it's all gray. That's the original color, but not the original paint. Dove gray. Gray vinyl top. Those are the original seats. Does have a dash cover. It's a little dirty, needs to be cleaned up. Running Explorer wheels on it. I've actually thought about going back to stock, but I don't know. I'll make up my mind later. We have a 250 inline 6, a dead battery. Had to change the fuel pump on it this morning. But anyway, like I said, I'm getting another vehicle out of storage. So I'm happy that that's going to be coming. It's going to be my truck that we're going to take on Power Tour. I just need to get it to the house and get it ready, and something's got to go back, and that's the part I hate about bringing a vehicle out of storage, is something has to go back in. And this time the Granada drew the short straw. Plan, if I stick to it, is to bring the Granada back probably around July, August, and let it have the later part of the summer and the fall stuff that I do. I can get some other stuff knocked out in the meantime. So, yeah, it stinks, but it's part of the situation. I hope one day I can have a garage big enough to hold all of my vehicles. So the purpose here is to show how I put a vehicle in storage and get one out. Really, honestly, the only thing I do put one in storage is park it. I will fill up the gas tank and I will put some berryman in it. Other than that, unhook the battery. That's not a whole lot of work. It's getting the vehicle out of storage that's going to be more of an ordeal. Alright, just taking a minute, getting some fuel for the truck and the Granada. I'm so glad I have a station that sells this not far from the house. But anyway, yeah, I'm going to put a can of berryman for the truck in each one of those cans. And hopefully the car's filled. I just saw a little more about today's operation. I'm running a little behind. Surprise, surprise. But the truck, like I said, it's been down here, I'd say probably 13 months. No, it's been longer than that. 16 months, something in that ballpark. But I did come down here early December and I did start it. A little bit of a revival, but it didn't fight me. You can watch that up here somewhere. So I did learn a couple things back then. The battery's good. I did leave it disconnected. Also, I know I'm out of fuel. I also brought a quart of oil and a jug of water. And normally I do 50-50 antifreeze water, but there's no more cold temperatures predicted here that I'm worried about. And one of the things I'm going to do for power tours, upgrade the cooling system, new radiator and all that. Plain water I'll do just fine. I got about 10 gallons of gas for it. But yeah, I'll be there in a few minutes and do the switch out. Alright, a little behind the wheel action before we put it up. Just show you kind of what it looks like back here. That Kenwood radio, that was the last 2-knob radio Circuit City sold. And if you ever wonder, a little bit of useless trivia, that's it. Other than that, girls are just enjoying the ride. We're going down this country road, and probably about 3 or 4 miles we'll be at the storage place. Alright, so a real quick walk around on the 80 F100. She started up for me 3rd crank. No Jesus juice, so have to appreciate that. We do have a new distributor. I don't know how old the plugs and wires are. They'll probably get changed. Gonna have to do something about that radiator and no fan shroud. It's never let me down, but I haven't been driving to deep south in the middle of July either. Put wagon wheels on it. Really basic interior. Dual tanks. The rear tank is something we're gonna have to address. And I do have a brick nose or 87 bit on it. But I did put the older style lights in it. But they don't quite fit right, so I'm kind of pondering, do I keep the ones that are kind of right for the era of the truck on here? Or do I just match the bed? I'm torn. I got the stuff to do either. But, yep, that's what she looks like. Well, we made it home, no problems. A little report about how it ran though. It's idling a little higher than I want it to. And unfortunately, the oil pressure is a little lower than I want it to be. Hoping these are things I can take care of fairly quickly. My 65 gallons is plan B, but there's a few things that right now I want to go ahead and get done, mainly to get a few things out of my way. Now, one concern I have with the idea of taking a truck on Hot Rod Power Tour is the fact that the bed's open. There's not much protection against stuff blowing out of the back of a truck, hardly any protection against weather. Thieves, let's face it, they want something, they're going to get it. But the whole out of sight, out of mind thing, go somewhere, if they can't see what's in the back, they may just move on. So, I was looking for just one of those trifold canvas tonneau covers like the one I have on my GMC for a long bed. And I just was looking for price, but I also looked on Marketplace one day, and I found this long bed, hard folding tonneau cover. I figured there's no way I'd be able to afford one of them, but lo and behold, I found one. Taking a little bit of a gamble, because at the time, this truck wasn't at the house for me to measure off of, and when it came up on Marketplace for 50 bucks, I didn't have time to fart around. I had to go get it or somebody else would. So anyway, I'm hoping this will work out. I may have to get like mistake pocket hook things just to fill it in. I don't know yet, but I mean, that's something I can come back and do. But for now, also, I just kind of want this big hard cover out of my way. So I'm going to go ahead and install that on the truck. Oh, which one's the front? Manufactured in 2016. Oh, get out the way. Rugged cover 2. I guess that's a step up from the rugged cover 1. Inch. 1.25 inches. 7/8, I guess. Yes, I am going to have to get something to fill in these stake pockets. No biggie. Alright, so I got the big cover on. Look out, not too bad. Put the tailgate up in a minute, see how that fits. But yeah, this is meant for a much newer truck. Not exactly sure what. I do wish it completely covered these, but I may put stake pocket covers in it with hooks. That'd be especially nice if on the way home I found something big I wanted and the back's already full. I could use one of the hooks and strap something to the top. Not saying I would do that, but it's possible. I may also look and see what I can do about some bed rail covers, maybe plastic, maybe diamond plate, just see what's available, and use that as a possibility to clean up the appearance. But overall, I'm pretty happy with this. Alright, so it's not a whole lot to attach this under here. What you gotta do is put this on, tighten it up. Shadows are playing out tricks with my eyes a little bit. Anyway, after I got this nice tonneau on, it started getting dark, and so I went ahead and put everything up. It's now the next day and it's pouring down rain. So what I've concocted here is I've got a dry erase board with some checklist things of what I'm going to need to do to get this truck ready for power tour. Starting on the top, we have a radiator. That little radiator, like I said, it's never let me down, but it is too small for what I'm going to be doing. Also, I will make a point to say I do not like to be wasteful at all. Taking a perfectly good radiator out and replacing it normally would cause me some heartache. But I got that 71 F100 that's been kind of around. Little spoiler alert, that thing's got a very leaky radiator. So I'm going to take the radiator that's currently in this and move it to the 71. So that's going to save me some cost on that job by reusing this radiator. Next we got the heater core. Even though it's going to be hot as blue blazes down there, I really want the heater core replaced. It's actually physically broken right now. And the reason I want that done so bad is because if it does get too hot, the whole thing about you can turn the heat on and bring the temperature down, that is like a little second radiator. So I definitely want to get the heater replaced. Third item on my list, wheel bearings. My last Rock Auto order, just trust me, there are wheel bearings in there. Inspect the brakes. This truck has not had a brake job in 20 years. Now granted, it got retired from regular use back in late 07. Probably hadn't gone 2,000 miles since then. Nonetheless, I still want to go through, check the brakes out, make sure I'm not going to have a problem. Change the tires. It's got a good set of rubber on it. I have a new set sitting outside for this. Going to be changing over some white leather tires. I managed to find some on sale. Again, don't like to be wasteful. The tires that are on here, I'm going to use on that white Dodge pickup I've been using. It's one of the few things that truck really needs to get back on the road. So again, go be reusing some stuff. Go put these tires on a different truck. Bring the rear fuel tank back online. Like I said, I retired this truck back in '07. And since I've drove it very rarely since then, and gasoline has a short shelf life, I went to just using one tank. I don't know why I selected the front tank to be the one I continue to use, but it is. So it's been 15 years, maybe a little more, since the rear tank was last used. I'm worried that there may be some rust leaks and all. I need to inspect that tank, figure out what it needs to come online, because with the length of power tour, I will be utilizing both tanks. And also on a side note, being a little older and a little smarter than I was, I'd rather go to just using the rear tank after this is all done, because I feel like I get better weight distribution using the rear tank than the front tank. Headlights. I got some no-name Chinese LEDs in the front. And I kind of learned my lesson there. They flicker some, and also I'm going to be switching it to something else. Maybe halos, maybe some newer seal beams. I see the mail trucks use these same headlights. They got something new. I might want to see what that's all about. But anyway, put in the comments, what should I do for front headlights on this? And the other thing up here is the fan. Again, I've never had a problem, but I am running with no shroud. I'm going to either have to come up with a shroud or switch it to an electric fan. Also, kicking around the idea of a clutch fan. I haven't quite figured out what I'm going to do, but I just know my current setup isn't going to cut it. Now, I got a line here. When I originally made this board, I was going to use different colors. I don't have different color dry erase markers. So, the things below the line are just things that I have that I'd really like to get done, but if they don't get done before power tour, I can still use the truck like it is. But some of these are more important than others, and some of them are low-hanging fruit. I know a bunch of these are going to get done, but there's a few things, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. First of all, change seats. Seat that's in it isn't bad, but it isn't great. So I managed to find a 98 light-duty F250 in the junkyard. As if that wasn't novelty enough as is, it had a red interior. I didn't even know they made red interiors that late, but it had one. And the seat, on a scale of 1 to 5, I'd give it a 4. So, I got the seats out of it. I'm hoping they will work in this truck. I may have to do a little retrofitting, or they might just not work in there. But nonetheless, that's my plan. And the plan for the seat that's in there, I mentioned 71 Ford again. This seat, red truck, over there. Change the outside mirrors. The ones that are on there are great, but they're a little pitted. 71 needs mirrors. It's getting these. It's not a matter of if, but when. New battery. I would like to have a fresh battery for this. And I'm thinking of going with a marine battery, because it's got the extra lugs on it. And part of the reason for that brings me to my next item, which is an inverter. Keep my camera batteries charged up, and some other things that, tool batteries and all charged up on the ride. I'm thinking of putting an inverter in this truck, either temporarily or permanently. And it'd just be really good to be able to hook the inverter up to a marine style battery. Taillights, as I mentioned earlier, I've got the correct 80 to 86 taillights in it for the truck, but not for the bid, because I have an 87 bid on there. I do have a newer style taillights. It'd be a quick switch out. I just got to make up my mind, do I want to keep the bullnose taillights, or do I want to go to the ones that fit the bid better? It's kind of one of these darned if I do, darned if I don't things. I haven't made up my mind, but that's on the list. Water pump. Water pump's working fine. Should I change it? I don't know. What I'm kind of leaning towards is just getting a spare and throwing it in. I got enough small block Fords around here that I will use it sooner or later. Check the timing. I guess about 2 years ago I changed the distributor in this truck. At the time, I didn't have a timing light. Obviously I do now. So the old ear meter's how it's tuned. But it'd be nice to get a timing light on it to make sure that that's where it should be. Get the idle where it should be, whatnot. plugs and wires. Like I said, old retired work truck for me. I have no idea when the last time I put plugs and wires on this truck was. Alternator, again, I'm thinking just carry a spare with me. Battery cables. One of them is in pretty rough condition. The other one, I don't know what to do about it yet, so I'm definitely looking at changing battery cables. Flush the engine. This is where I'm a little concerned about taking this truck, is there's some grit in the oil. So I'm thinking of doing a quick oil change with running some ATF through it and leave some diesel. I don't know, but try to flush the engine somehow. Unfortunately, I looked at this thing. I don't think you can drop the oil pan on this truck without pulling the engine. I did that on my Fairlane. It helped immensely. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this engine after power tour. A lot of people do the engines before. I'm going to do the engine afterwards, and I've got a couple ideas, but try to get that grit. And the other part too is my valve cover gaskets are leaking. I want to change them out, and while I do that, I can clean in there. I can brake clean the head, try to do something with this dirty engine. That'll be just one thing I can do to work on that. And one item I forgot to put on my list, I need to do that. New shocks. These are FCS. I use these on my Falcon. I have a friend that's got 86 model. He's got these on his truck. Said they work great. So I'm going to change the shocks on them. I have no idea how old the shocks are on this truck. I've owned this truck since 2001, and I never replaced the shocks on it. No telling how old they are. I just feel like for the long ride, I'll appreciate having new shocks. So anyway, that's my list of things to do with this truck to get it ready for Hot Rod Power Tour. I did, yesterday when I had the vehicles out of the garage, I did scan Red Galaxy to figure out what it needed. And basically minor stuff. Cooling system, brakes. Other than that, I think that car's about ready. So if something goes south on this one between now and then, and I have to scramble to get that Red Galaxy ready, it's doable. I really want to take this truck. As always, I appreciate y'all tuning in. I appreciate when y'all hit the like button on the videos, subscribe to the channel. It helps me out immensely. So take care of yourself, take care of each other, take care of your projects. Have a great day, and God bless. I'll see you again soon.